Really? An angled bracket is what broke this thing? Whatever. I'm streaming now. Yeah, I tried to put an angry emoticon to convey my displeasure of having Cleo biting my feet, but apparently YouTube and Streamlabs say no. No kinds of brackets. That's illegal. There we go. Alright, now I gotta let Blue Sky know. Pop out chat. And Blue Sky. As far as my last count is concerned, I'm still at 8. There's currently 3 hanging out near the camera. They're just out of the way of the camera lens, which is suckish for you guys. And I haven't seen any eggs yet, though I wouldn't be surprised if they hid them somewhere if they were going to have eggs. Oh, I see you. You're so cute. Okay, let me see if I can angle the camera so you guys can see one of the Janets. There's one. There we go. There's a Janet. Let me pull up the count, or let me pull up the break time screen so you guys can see them better. There she is in her little sticky feet. I think Janets just kind of lay eggs whenever. So, I'll either find eggs or find new Janets. Although I'm hoping that they'll wait to start laying eggs until I finish their enclosure, because the hardscaping is done. Now I just gotta do the ceiling and finishing touches on their enclosure, plant some plants, and then they'll be moving into a bigger enclosure. One that Lee was hoping to keep on her desk, but if she doesn't, then I will keep them on my desk. And I lost my stylus. Oh, it's in my lap. They are a type of gecko. They're called a morning gecko. And they're adorable. And they're so small. And fast little boogers, too. Unfortunately, the colony of fruit flies that I have are still maturing, so I don't have any food to throw in there to make the Janets go crazy. Let's see, control you. Let's bump down the saturate. Never mind. Let's do that. Hi, Rosen. Okay, here I thought I could be clever. Apparently I can't be clever. At least not when it's concerned with these books. Dang, is there really a Hurricane Melissa brewing? Ah, look at this. Oh my god, you weren't kidding. Oh, that's funny. I mean, not that hurricane, because it's, could be devastating. Also, apparently there's a Melissa, Texas. Ah, damn it. Is it going near Puerto Rico? Tropical Storm Melissa. But is it gonna be near Puerto Rico? Venezuela, Aruba. I gotta tell Lee real quick. She's in the room right next to me. Hey Lee, Tropical Storm Melissa is going through the Caribbean right now.
Yo, what fucking hell?
So far, not near Puerto Rico.
Well, thank you. At least there's that.
It's just a devastating Jamaica, Haiti, and it's set to be a Category 5.
Oh shit!
And a big part of that is because, as you mentioned, his throne was usurped. He was manipulated by work.
I have no control over the weather.
Ma'am, my dear friends, my dear, not, oh god, what do you call it when you're like adopted Puerto Rican?
I forget what you called me.
Don't go hitting my island, that's all I'm saying. Leave Haiti alone.
Leave Haiti alone. I am personally responsible for
We're
it.
personally responsible for Haiti and Jamaica!
Lee has put me personally responsible for Haiti and Jamaica. I'm gonna have to make one of those cursed, oh, what is it called? One of those cursed LimeWire things where when you download a LimeWire song, and it's not a song, it's just an ad of Bill Clinton talking about how he did not essay that woman, but he did save a ton of money on his car insurance or whatever it is that they were selling. The disappointment when I would go in to listen to a song that I just downloaded and it's that BS. Check. Did all the background art. I mean, I know I'm zoomed in so far. That is not what I want for these books. The book brush? Yes, from the mystical book brushes. And then I just changed the angle of the brushes and then added in the correct proportions. Okay, let's see if I can. Wait a minute. Books, books, books. That's the background books. Let's. Better. Let's say books. Books, books, books. And Skull Wing. That's not too bad. No screen, screen, no screen, screen. I like screen better. Dang, Hurricane Melissa is me. Okay. Well, first things first, I gotta change up these books a little bit. Control U. Ooh, those are some ugly books. Ian selects the green books. There we go. And this is my attempt at kind of half-ass fixing some of the colors of these books. without going too crazy. Okay, cancel you. Bump down the saturation. I actually don't hate that. Huh. Oh, I wasn't done with that. Why are these colors so bright? Eh. Oh, hell no. I might be overthinking this a tad. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Screen. Yeah, the first episode of that Knights of Guinevere show looked really good. Also helps that it's a big F you to Disney. Okay. So I thought that I finished inking everything, but apparently I neglected to finish the bookshelf. And my sketch looks to be gone. Whoopsie doodles. Alright, I gotta get creative. Okay. Wait, did I really? That'd be pretty metal for Hurricane Melissa to take out Disney World. Okay. Oops. Let's see. Okay. Disable this shortcut here. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that fixed it. I hear listening to Colbert, and I'm like, I want to listen to Colbert. If Colbert and Jon Stewart teamed up to run, I'd vote for them. They're so much more qualified for this job than Cheeto Bandito. Okay, books. Throw in more books. And then the shelf's done. Okay. I think I'm gonna modify how I do live streams soon, because I don't know if right now I can handle twice a week. Actually, that's a good question to bring up. Like, I'm thinking of going down to once a week. Whoops. And maybe switching the day from Tuesday or Thursday to one of the other days of the week. I haven't decided yet. But I figured a good place to start would be asking you guys if there was a preference or input. Why are you like that? Well, it's mostly I've got some projects coming up, and I need to I'm not going to be able to work on those on stream. So for like a solid month, maybe 2, I think I'll only be able to stream once a week. Okay, now here's where I used to do Mondays. That might... I think I'd like to go back to Mondays, especially if I can start updating EC, because then it's like, enjoyed reading the page, watch me work on them. I don't think the angle on that's too bad, but... yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I'm thinking in November, because that's when I've got a bunch of stuff coming up. My work schedule at my new job's going to pick up because there's a bunch of events that are taking place. I'm basically working every weekend next month, which is not too bad. And then... oh shoot, I gotta get that contract fixed up and sent out. And hopefully I'll be getting pages for another project. I can safely say it's not another Svet book, so that'll, hopefully this will be able to get done relatively quick and get a solid payday. And hopefully Tim will be finishing up his Kinktober thing, and I'll be helping him do another book fund. Oh, and then next month I start my volunteering at a zoo. Yay! So that's going to be exciting. I don't know where exactly I'm going to be working there yet, but it'll be cool to volunteer at a zoo. And I applied for a different job. I was putting off this job application because it's for a city shelter, which is run by the police department. But one of the jobs is I would have to euthanize some animals, which I'm not entirely comfortable with. But it's also a full-time job with state benefits, which California state benefits for their workers are really good. If you can get on Cal Piers, that's I'm told you're set for life. But also this job is full-time. Starting pay is like $65K a year. I'm like, maybe I can learn to euthanize animals. Not really holding my breath. Honestly, I'm not even really expecting them to get a hold of me. I have a lot of, like, the only job requirements that they have is that you had at least 6 months of customer service experience, and that you have at least 6 months of animal handling experience, which I have more than 6 months experience doing both of those. So I think I'm a shoo-in. Find out if I get an interview. I also have shelter experience, so being able to work in a shelter would be something I'm not completely new to. Yeah, so the only problem with the new job is that it's I'm limited to 1,000 hours a year of work. So my boss staggers out the shifts so that we're working like 20 or less hours a week. Which is fine, but not really consistent. And if I go over 1,000 hours according to my contract, then my employment ends. So until there's a new classification for the job that I'm doing, then I kind of have to stick with only working 20 hours a week. Oh, and I had my first not so great experience with rentals that we had last night. No, stop. What are you doing? I don't know why you're doing that, YouTube. Where did my stuff go? Oh yeah, story time. So, yesterday I was working a Jago event, which I learned is one of the pre-wedding events for Punjabi weddings. Before this, I knew nothing about Punjabi weddings. So it's the party before the actual wedding, and like the catering staff and the decorators were super nice, very great people. And they had driven up from Gilroy and Fresno, which is easily, well, Fresno is like 3 hours away, and then Gilroy is about an hour and a half away. So it's not really a close drive. And the thing with dealing with renters is we are supposed to deal with only the renters, and they didn't show up till way later. We never actually got formally introduced to the renters. So they do their party, and me and my coworkers are helping out various people throughout the event for various things. One of the people involved with the event like chewed out my coworker, who is on the spectrum. So he's very professional, but he has a habit of cutting people off when speaking. Especially if they're asking for something that we can't accommodate, either because it goes against policy or because we just don't have the resources to accommodate. So he did that, and the dude who asked the question was not happy about it. But then later, so our rental contracts for people renting the spaces that we manage, is they are responsible for making sure that the floor is swept clean and that all the garbage is taken out of the facility. We provide them with garbage bags. We provide them with brooms, dustpans, and everything. And so we talked to the catering staff, and oh, by the way, this stuff is sent they're told about this during the walkthrough as they're renting or doing the rental paperwork, and then they're given reminders up until like a couple of days before the event. And during check-in time, when they come to the building, that's usually when we reiterate, hey, so you're responsible for taking out the trash and all other stuff. This is, here's the dumpsters. Please separate your trash. How was your coworker being chewed out? Oh, he seemed fine. I asked him, are you okay? Because that guy kind of chewed you out. He didn't really notice. And he acknowledged that it was partly his fault because he cut the guy off. And he even apologized to me for cutting me off when I was trying to talk, which I appreciated. But yeah, for the most part, he kind of didn't realize he got chewed out. He does definitely miss a lot of social cues, so I think he registered that the guy raised his voice, but I don't think that he registered the guy was annoyed. But anyways, so the actual hosts never checked in with the staff because they didn't show up until later. And so, party's going on, and it gets close to checkout time, and like the decorators and the catering staff left or were packing up and leaving. They got there at like 10:30, and they were planning on being packed up and out by 11, and the rental time ended at like 12. So while even though the catering staff and the decorators like got there early and started taking stuff down, the clients and their guests were still partying it up, which, I mean, good for you. Have fun. You technically have the space till 12, but a little self-awareness towards deadlines would have been great. So oh, and before I talk about like the bullshit, I'm gonna talk about how like nice the catering staff was, because the catering staff was really nice. Like, they offered us food, and when I said I'd never had a Punjabi food before, the head chef like was like, "Oh, please try the food. Please go make yourself a plate." And one of them actually brought me a plate so that I could go plate up some food. And I did the same thing that I did last time, where I got a little bit of everything. Unfortunately, unlike last time, where I liked everything that was on the plate, I liked maybe half of the stuff that was on the plate. I also had the not fun experience of trying bitter, what was it called? Bitter squash? Oh, it was disgusting. I took a bite and it squished like juice onto my tongue, and it made my mouth numb. It tasted so gross. To me, it's probably somebody else's favorite thing, but I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of what it looked like, because I didn't know it was I didn't know it was a fruit. I thought that it was like a sea anemone or something. And I was like, well, I'm willing to try it once. And I can definitively say now I do not like salmon. I have tried so many different variations of salmon, and I have not liked any of it. Yeah, these fuckers. Bitter gourds. Copy image. There we go. So yeah, these seeds, I bit into one of them and it squirted juice in my mouth, and that's what started making my tongue numb. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of the dish that I ate with the bitter squash. Recipe. Trying to find something that I'm looking at pictures. I'm trying to find a picture that's kind of similar to what I ate. This might be the closest thing that I could get. No, because it didn't have onions in it. Those are some big onions. Maybe it was called Corella. Is that what I ate? That is not what I ate. Oh, I could just pull... Doy. Forgot, I could just pull up the picture from Discord. Discord. Food. coffee. Okay, so this was the bitter melon. Actually, you know what? Here, with this up, I can point out the stuff that I liked. Paintbrush. Alright, let's go. This stuff, butter chicken. I give it a 8 out of 10. It was really good. This was goat curry. I give, like, ranking for this, I give it a 10 out of 10. It was delicious. Best thing on the plate. I think this is just rice. Bitter melon. 0 out of 10. Let's make it a negative 5 out of 10. It was disgusting. This stuff was, I don't know what this was. It tasted sweet, almost like a butternut squash. I give it a 3. It was not my favorite thing, but it tasted way better than the melon. I don't know what this was, but it was spicy, and that was the softest chicken I'd ever had. And I give that a 6 out of 10. It was good. It wasn't my favorite thing. This stuff was some kind of curry. Oh, and then under here is like a vegan curry. I didn't eat too much of it, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. This stuff, it was hot. But it was good, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. And then rice is rice, so rice just automatically gets a 10 out of 10. And then I think this was a kind of pita bread, or not pita bread. It's it was a type of naan. And it tasted almost like a corn tortilla. And I give it a 6 out of 10. And then this, creme de la creme, was the, it was the garlic naan. And that, honestly, that gets a 12 out of 10. Like, I could just eat an entire plate of the garlic naan. And then, last but not least, was this thing, which I'm gonna say tasted like a donut, but it was drenched in simple syrup, and it wasn't crunchy. It wasn't crunchy like a donut. It was a really, really soft donut. Soft donut thing drowned in syrup. I give it an 8 out of 10. It was a good dessert. I would have eaten more. Although I was really hesitant of everything on the plate after, oh, I gotta mark off the salmon. So yeah, there was salmon with veggies. I give it a 2 out of 10. Because I put it in my mouth. It tasted good for a little bit, and then the more I chewed, the more I felt like I was eating something from inside of a fish tank. The bell pepper was good. Actually, you know what? The one is actually from the bell pepper that was cooked with it, which was very good and helped get rid of the taste of bitter melon and salmon. So that is my breakdown of the food that I ate at the event last night. Punjabi food. So yeah, so food was great. The other staff that was working with us was great. And yeah, like I told my coworkers and stuff, like I'm willing to try stuff at least once. I used to be very limiting about the kinds of foods that I would tolerate eating, because growing up, not realizing you're on the spectrum, you just know that, oh, this food is gross, no likey. But now as an adult, with a little more like discernment of the things that I can eat. Okay, so here's a cool thing about the bitter melon was we had a new coworker join us. He'd only been working for about, I think this was his third shift. And he's from the Philippines. He came here in July to on like a he's co-signed by his son who lives here. So he's really cool. He liked my artwork. And he was the one that told me it was that it was bitter melon. And also told us about some other interesting looking Filipino food. One that is essentially a chicken fetus, which I'm sure Squash knows exactly what I'm talking about. But I was like, I could not eat that. And let's see, where else was I? So yeah, that all happened, and then it's near the end of the night. It's like 30 minutes until these people gotta be out. And you know exactly what it is, Balut. I'm gonna pull up a picture, because if I have to be cursed with this knowledge, so does everybody else. Yeah, this abomination. Apparently it's delicious, but I call bullshit. Like, no! It doesn't look delicious. When he said it actually kind of tastes good, I looked at him and I was like, you're fucking lying. I was like, there's no way that tastes delicious. So 11:30 rolls around, and who I am assuming is the renters shows up at our desk window, asking like what it is that they need to do to check out. And so my coworker, who's on the spectrum, he's actually the guy that trained me, because he's very good at his job. uh, social cue reading, notwithstanding. But, hold on, apparently Ah! That was the distressed Mel sound. I think I would definitely take the bitter melon over the balut egg. If I had to eat one, just give me the melon that makes my mouth numb. I'll be drooling all over the place, but at least I won't have a balut egg in my mouth. And so, coworker goes in about how, like, oh, you guys are responsible for taking out the garbage and sweeping the floor. Please make sure everything is clean. And so they didn't quite understand, like, what do you mean by clean for sweeping the floor? Like, do you guys have vacuums? And before coworker could get too stuck in the weeds with trying to explain stuff to them, I told them that the floor just has to be, like, the big stuff just has to be swept up. Crumbs, you don't gotta worry about. You won't get dinged for crumbs. It just needs to be clean enough so that when the janitors come in the morning, they can vacuum the space without too much problems. And actually, I'm not okay with that color. I want to do that yellow. And they seemed to have gotten that. So, one of them, who I am assuming is the bride, if she is not the bride, then she must be a relative of the bride or a relative of the groom, because she was, she had an air about her. Oh, quick thing about just these renters. So Punjabi events are very elaborate. I did some reading about it because I was curious. I'm like, oh, I've never heard of a Jago before. What's involved with it? So good old pal Wikipedia educated me a little bit on the Punjabi wedding traditions. And one of the events for the Jago event is the couple is on the dance floor and all of the guests just throw dollar bills at them. So at one point, my coworker comes in and he's like, "Hey, there's money all over the floor." And he's like, "Yeah, I went in there to check on stuff, and there was like a dollar near my foot, and there's just money everywhere." And eventually, like, all three of us go in to, because the people the renters wanted to know, like, well, can you guys, like, come look around and, like, let us know if anything needs to be cleaned up more or whatever. And so we're like, yeah, we can do that. And so when we go in there we have a dance floor, and it's like 25 feet by 25 feet. And it is covered in dollar bills. If I had to make a rough estimate of how much money I thought was on that dance floor in dollar bills, I would easily say 1K, maybe 2, if I was going to be generous. And so, and there's a guy who's just sweeping up the dollar bills into a pile, and he asked me for a trash bag, because he just puts all the money in the trash bag for the bride and the groom. And so when we get in there, we see that the space is not clean like it should be. Their definition of clean and our definition of clean are two completely different cleans, apparently. So, there was water bottles everywhere. There was, plastic shot glasses, plastic, okay, so I should elaborate that they didn't throw the money away. They just put the money in a garbage bag so that they could get it out of the space. Although, maybe with the rest of the story, you guys will, or I'll be thinking differently. Because, my god, these people were wasteful. I'll get there. So, so their friend is sweeping up their money, and, so we're going around, and, my Spectrum coworker is pointing out, like, these garbage cans are still full. You guys are responsible for sorting the garbage can out in the, out into the dumpsters outside. So our job description is we're not janitorial staff, so we should not be cleaning, like, it's up to the renters to clean. We are not in charge of cleaning their stuff. And I'm getting a little lost in the weeds here, but it is kind of a detail shot. So, like, my job is to make sure that the attendants, well, I am the attendant. My job is to make sure that the space is being utilized as it should be. And, we have janitorial staff that come in and do the main cleaning and stuff, so that's not my job. So, even though it's not my job, I still, was walking around, and I was picking up garbage, and, moving chairs and stuff out of the way so that they could do what they needed to do, and, while, so before we got in there and I saw the money and everything, who I am assuming is the bride. I'm just gonna call her the bride. Probably not her. She didn't really look like the picture, but, for the sake of me being able to convey the story, I'm just gonna say, like, I'm gonna call her Bridezilla, because she kind of acted like one. So, before we went into the room, she'd asked me for some garbage bags. So, I went to the supply closet to get the garbage bags. So, to get to the supply closet, we have to go down a hallway, and there's some vending machines in there. There are massive signs on the vending machines that say, out of order. And there is a bunch of guests putting money into the machines, despite there being huge signs everywhere on the front of it saying, out of order, sorry for the inconvenience. So, the machines are not ours. We are not in charge of them. It's a third-party vendor that takes care of those machines. And so, we've just been telling people, like, if you, because they put money, people put money in to the machines, and then they get mad when they don't get something from it, and so we gotta tell them, like, yeah, so we're not in charge of these machines, we cannot get money back for you, call the number on the machine, because we can't help you. Sorry for the inconvenience. So, I tell the group of people that are trying to get snacks on, I was like, oh, those are out of order, so I wouldn't put my money in there. And like, oh, we saw some kids walking around with snacks and we wanted some snacks. And I'm like, and it already took the $1. And I'm like, okay, but if you have problems, call that number because it's not our machine, so I can't do anything if something goes wrong. And as I'm talking to these guests, the other lady, or Bridezilla, is like, garbage bags, please. And like my key was in the door to open it, and just like, okay, it's gonna be one of those nights. Okay. So I get her garbage bags, and then I go with my coworkers to help facilitate cleanup, which is honestly not in my job description. They should just be cleaning up, and then I tell them either, yeah, you did the thing, or sorry, you didn't do the thing. And so like while we're walking around and I'm picking stuff up, oh, I forgot a side story. There's a lot of side stories that come with this. Earlier in the party, there were a lot of people with strollers and babies, and so at one point I had a couple ask me if they could go hang out in the hallway past our office, and there's we have what are they called? We have like a blockade or rope system that we put out in front to be like, yeah, you're not supposed to be in this area. So we block off that hallway because there's classrooms and an NPR there, but it's not, they didn't rent the space out, so they don't have access to it. But we keep the doors locked and everything, so I told them I was okay with them using the hallway so long as, like, they're just using it for a quiet space for their child. And they're like, yeah, we're just gonna hang out here until they fall asleep. And then later I had another person come over who wanted a quiet place to breastfeed their baby. And so I had already had a similar experience of somebody wanting a quiet place to do that. So I had suggested one of the classrooms by the main hall, but I said, like, you can only use it for breastfeeding. Technically, the renters did not rent out this space, so like, technically we're not supposed to let people use it, but this is a situation where you have a baby and you're trying to feed them. So hi Jess, you're here for the pinnacle of the bullshit work story that I had last night. So as we are cleaning up, I walk down that hallway, and there so the family in the hallway, they had people that came by to visit them and brought them drinks and stuff, which is fine. Like, parents are trying to do their parent thing, and their friends were bringing them some stuff to keep them company, which I didn't mind. But as I was walking around down that area, they had left plastic shot glasses and plastic drink cups all on the furniture and the floor there. And they even had a plastic cup that was tipped over with ice all over the floor. Rude. And so I'm cleaning all that up, and I go into that classroom that nobody is supposed to really be using. And, like, I got permission from my boss to allow people to use that space for breastfeeding as long as it's only used for breastfeeding. And so I go in there just like, because after how messy the main hall was, I had a sneaking suspicion that the if the hallway was gross and the rest of the area was gross, then that room was probably going to be gross. And wouldn't you know it, I go in there and the mother and the baby's grandmother had left water bottles and crumbs all over the place. So I clean that up, and then I go back into the main hall to help my coworkers clean up. And Gavin, I didn't mean to say his name, coworker on the spectrum, he is walking the groom around and pointing out, like, yeah, you guys still haven't taken out this, you haven't done this, you have to do this. And I see Bridezilla, because I was in the kitchen looking over stuff. And so, how the, quick aside, how the hallway works is, so we have the kitchen, and then we have these doors here. These, like, in-out doors. And then there is a hallway here. So this is the hall. This is the kitchen. And then there's a big door here. And so this is the way to the dumpsters. And then this is the way into the hall. So I'm in here making sure that the kitchen, gotta do the ponytail. Making sure that the kitchen's all taken care of. And so I'm walking this way, and when I get to the doorway right here, Bridezilla and another person are walking past me in this hallway with garbage bags of stuff. And I hear Bridezilla say to one of the guests something along the lines of, like, they're making us take out the fucking garbage. I'm gonna go with G-Man. Great name. So I'm here walking that way, and she's saying, like, they're making us take out the fucking garbage. If I'd known this, I wouldn't have signed the contract. And, like, bitch, you got... Oh, there's a Janet being curious and cute, so I'm gonna move the camera. Hello, little Janet. And so I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of those. Okay. Hello, little Janet. Oh, the Janets make me happy. Okay, so, so we're doing cleanup and everything, and I would like to add, and reiterate, it is not my job to clean up after the renters. It is the renters' job to clean up. My job is to move furniture and make sure people are following the rules of the space. And so, there's a thing, like, here's the thing you guys are here's something that you guys should know about me. So I personally do not like food waste. Anytime I can't finish my food, I feel really bad, and usually I'll pawn it off on Lee and Tim, and they are usually cool with, like, eating it, because they're like, hell yeah, seconds. So Bridezilla and some of her friends are over at these tables where the catering staff had left, they left the leftover food in those little metal disposable trays. And so they, I saw her move, so I fixed it. There we go. And so, they left the food there so that, and they left some plates and stuff so that people could come and serve themselves some food. I need water. It wasn't the big fancy buffet that they'd had earlier, but people could still snack on food. And at one point, I did make my way over there with my empty dinner Tupperware and stocked up on a little bit of the rice, garlic naan, and the oh god, what was it called? And the goat curry. I wasn't trashy. I didn't fill the container up. I thought about it, but I didn't. I showed some modicum of restraint. And so, I see Bridezilla and these other girls over there, and they're dumping the trays of food into garbage bags to throw away. And me being the reasonably thinking person that I am like, oh no, that's a lot of food going to waste. Maybe I can take some of it home. Because Lee and Tim will eat it. Well, at least Tim will. Me and Tim will eat the food. And so I walk over and I say, like, hey, if you guys are just gonna throw the food away, I can take it. And one of the guests stops and looks up and is like, oh, do you want it? And I was like, yeah, the goat curry was really good. I don't mind taking it. And Bridezilla looks up from dumping the vegetarian curry into the garbage and says, can you do some cleaning then? Like, instantly not interested in curry. And so I was just like, wow, okay, and left. I wanted to say some other choice things, but I also just wanted these people gone. So eventually they leave, and even when they left, they still, like, did not do as good of a cleaning job as other renters have done. And quite frankly, a little pissed that they wasted all that food and then was so rude to me. Yeah, so still sad for the amount of food that got wasted, because legit the amount of food that was left, it would have filled our fridge and fed us easily 3 meals a day for a week. Oh, I hope my boss didn't give them their deposit back, because I sent him an email saying, like, hey, I don't know what G-Man put for their checkout, because I didn't handle checkout, but this is what happened in excruciating detail, and part of the reason for sending it is because I would not put it past Bridezilla to comment to my boss, like, oh, your staff was begging for food. Easily, Jess. Easily. Those pan liners, like, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture. Like, they're the ones that you use for, like, Thanksgiving, the turkey-sized ones. There was, like, 8 of them. Yeah, and so that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like, wow, rich people suck. Because, like, this event was extravagant. Like, this wasn't even the wedding. This was the pre-wedding. Metal pan liners. Why are you giving me the baby ones? Where are the big ones? No, those are too tiny. Those are like personal sized. What? Aluminum pans. Catering. Hi, handsome. Those still look too small. Here we go. Yeah, so about 8 of these. Yeah. 8 of these motherfuckers just thrown into the garbage. So yeah, I hope they don't get their deposit back, and I hope their marriage doesn't last. Like, if you were gonna take the food home, cool, okay, I don't need it. But yeah, nothing made me feel more like a peasant than this lady saying that I needed to work for food. Just the absolute gall. Let me check the chat. Yeah, and also just, like, how do you not know that you are responsible for the cleaning? Like, as part of the job, my boss sends us the same confirmation email that, that people, or that the clients get. So, that way I'm in the loop with what they rented and how long they rented it for. And so in that email, I see that my boss gives the reminders about how, like, you are responsible for this, this, and this. It's highlighted in red and emphasized. So anybody saying, like, I didn't see it is just a goddamn liar. So yeah, I hope they don't get their deposit back. And you know what? For extra pettiness, I hope one of those dollar bills was, I don't know, like, infected with something. I don't care. Fuck them. Dare to treat the people who put your events on. Oh, but the night did end, not on a bad note, because as I was leaving, the decorating crew, was packing up their stuff and leaving, and as me and my coworkers were leaving the parking lot, one of the decorating staff, like, enthusiastically waved goodbye to us. So, yeah. I made sure to tell my boss, like, the decorators and the catering staff, excellent, great people. Would love to work with them again. These people, like, you know what? I don't have to wish misery on them, because they're just going to be miserable. And if that is, in fact, the bride, she's going to make him very miserable. Checking in on the chat. People don't read the orders from the judge. It's right? People just don't read. The reading literacy is, like, gone. Yeah, the decorators and the caterers were great. I enjoyed talking with them. And the shout out to the cook who insisted that we eat, even though I may have not liked everything that I ate. The stuff that I did like, I liked pretty good. Oh, that's why my stuff's not... I'm like, why is this not working the way it should be? Because I do not have the correct pen setting on. And this is just the live stream where I just color books. What did you do for 2 hours? Books. Like, you read books? No. I gussied them up. I made them look more book. How do you make something more book? You just make things more book. Books are more peaceful than bridezillas. Yeah. You know what? The white is really adding something to this bookshelf, so I ain't mad. Also, with how shitty the year's been going as far as, like, my productivity, fuck it. I'm gonna take time to make book. Make book pretty. What are you? That was weird. Please don't do it again. Yeah, the internet has made some pretty dumb people. And it's about 9 o'clock. I never opened my drink, which is fine. I really need to be drinking more water anyways. And I gotta move on to some other stuff, so I'm gonna end it there. Thanks for coming to Storytime with Mel and watching me do nothing but work on this goddamn bookshelf. I'm not gonna be nearly as precious with these. Alright. Have a good one, you guys. I'll see you at the next stream. Hopefully more stories that I have won't involve, Watch, I don't work till Halloween, so hopefully the next stories that I have will just be things like, hey guys, I finished fixing this enclosure. Here's some pictures.